how prepared do you think India is in case there is an escalation? Now, obviously, everyone will try to push for no escalation. Everyone wants peace, but you never know what happens tomorrow. So how prepared do you think India is, or how are we gearing in case there is retaliation from the other side?
I think the government has put in place its sort of playbook, which is usually used in such situations.
Correct.
Where the military is on high alert, Air Force is sort of in a very defensive posture, the naval assets are in a defensive posture to kind of prevent any sort of attack or retaliation which comes in Indian territory. In India's case, when it struck, the Pakistani military said very clearly that Indian planes did not cross over to the Pakistani territory, so Pakistani airspace. So that means sort of some kind of missiles or long distance range precision guided missiles were used in this particular in these strikes. Now, when Pakistan sort of responds in that, to keep that in mind, India has also unleashed these set of measures that we have seen in civil defense, volunteers and mock drills that have happened. So I think from the Indian government's perspective, it is doing all it can to sort of portray the fact that it is very, very well prepared, and it is also preparing the population for the day two of the day after of the strike.
Of course, and that's why that's a reason for the extensive mock drills that have been scheduled across the country, and a few of them are currently undergoing as we speak. Shubhajit, this armed conflict or this military covert op, this did not happen overnight. This was not a turnaround time of 24 hours on the 23rd of April. This came 15 days later. A lot of calibrated measures have been taken so far. The suspension of the Indus Waters Treaty, the shutdown of the airspace, the cancellation of the visas, and on both sides of the border, they cut down the staff and those working at the embassies and the high commissions. How do you think this entire thing was calibrated and planned as a precursory to this military operation?
I think the Indian government tried to work on different tracks almost simultaneously and sequentially.
Yeah.
So the first set of measures that you outlined were typically they were announced and sort of were implemented in the first phase after 22nd of April. On 23rd April, the Foreign Secretary, he announced a series of measures. After that, a second wave of measures were announced over the last 1 week. And then, as part of that diplomatic toolkit, after those options were sort of unleashed, then came the military strike. And that these 2 weeks that the armed forces got, while Pakistan was sort of dealing with the diplomatic aftermath or the repercussions of the diplomatic steps, that time was very well used by the Indian military, Indian armed forces to prepare for these strikes that we saw. And we saw for the first time we saw footage, videos, and of the strikes being carried out almost like on a real-time basis as it used to happen in the West. So that is, I think, tells you the level of planning, sophistication in technology and the capacity that the Indian armed forces have, which we saw in this particular series of 9 sites that India attacked.